everybody. It's my pleasure to be with you tonight. Things are incredibly strange. Things are happening. Strange things in the skies. People are sharing their videos, sharing their stories. And you know what? Our YouTube channel, I think, has been viewed more times in history right now than any other time since Third Phase Moon's been our YouTube channels. And this is something big. We're breaking new grounds. More people tuning in, more information, different subject matter, just not UFOs, but, other things. What's going on with the pyramids? A lot of new chambers being discovered, new heat anomalies being discovered, and possible theories of how the pyramids were built. Wow. We're writing the history books right here at Third Phase of Moon in its own way, but this is plausible science. This isn't just, some random theory. It's things are happening over there in Egypt. So more subject matter, different topics. This is what Third Phase of Moon is kind of morphing into a whole new world of strange things happening around the world. So it opens up a whole new dialogue of different subject matter that we could talk about right here on Third Phase of Moon. Wow. So if you've got something you want to share, it just doesn't have to be a UFO sighting. If you've got an opinion on what Area 51's up to, why do you think the pyramids hold so many mysteries, as well as other things. Yeah, obviously, we want to hear your UFO and alien encounters. That's very important. That's what we're all about. So don't worry. We're going to get a lot of that. But what's your thoughts on Snowden? Edward Snowden, is he covering up alien information that he has yet to leak? These kind of questions we're wanting to find out. New science, exoplanets yet to be discovered, and are being discovered pretty much on a daily basis right now. Just about maybe 30 years ago, people thought there were really not many planets out there. We're pretty special. Turns out there's billions of them, and it wasn't just a theory. This is fact. Now there could be actually trillions of planets out there, but billions alone in just our small galaxy. So we're going to be able to visit these planets here, it seems, pretty soon. The way they're talking, we're going to be interstellar human travelers here if things get going. One thing that disappoints me is that we've heard that Russia is working on their own space mission coming up. They pretty much take all our astronauts up to the ISS. We don't really have any transportation for humans up to this ISS at the moment. So, yeah, Russia's kind of leading that frontier right now, but they're planning to go to the moon. The problem is, in my opinion, they're going to get there in 2030. Now, why is this taking so long to just get this over with? We should have been on Mars already. They're suppressing stuff from us. They've been to Mars, in my opinion, but they're just not letting us know. Have we been to Mars? Has the human race laid foot on the red planet? In my opinion, I think so. And all these stall tactics, come on, give me a break. 2030 it'll take till the Russians get to the moon. We did this so long ago. We should already have a moon base up there. We probably do, but again, they're just not telling us this stuff. A lot of subject matter, a lot of mysteries. I want to get your opinions, people. If you've got something you want to share, the number to call in tonight is 347-934-0378. Press number 1 on your keypad. You got something you want to share? Press that number 1 button on your keypad, touch tone device, whatever you're using, and you'll be taken straight to the top of the call list. Blake Cousins, stand by. We'll be right back. The callers, they're building up. They're building up right here at Third Phase of Moon. We're broadcasting live from the Big Island of Hawaii. This is Third Phase of Moon. Let's bring in the callers. Area code 615. You made it to the show. Thanks for joining us. Area code 615. You there? All right. They had the number one press. They wanted to get in, but it was just dead silence. So let's go to area code 281. You made it. You got a little background noise over there. Can you fix that up? How you doing?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Yep, you're live. Welcome to the show. I got you loud and clear.
What's going on, Blake?
Hey, man. How you doing? Where are you calling in from?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm calling from Texas right now, Dickinson, Texas.
All right, man. What's on your mind tonight? You got something you want to share or talk about? Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the TRB3. Yeah, they're always
the
TR3B.
Okay, one sec. We can't hear you. You need to. You're coming in a little muffled, so you might need to speak up.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, you're really good there for a second, but then now you just went a little low. So
okay.
Man,
Can you hear me?
Get close to the mic. I got you. So you wanted to talk about the TR3B. Did you see one?
Well, the last one I seen was about 3 months ago, but it just came in real fast. It came in from the west, went to the east, straight line. It just it's kind of hard to see them because they're moving so fast. But you can see them if you see them at an angle going away from you, where you got a better angle to see, you can see them better. But if they go across straight from left to right, they're hard to see. You wouldn't even know that they're even there. They pass by kind of low, but quiet, no sonic boom.
So you're saying the TR3B, since it's pretty much a thin alien craft, when it's traveling from left to right, it's basically like a sliver. But then, if it kind of banks or whatever, if it goes horizontal, you can make out the triangular shape of it.
Yeah, you can. When it's going away from you at an angle where it doesn't go too much from left to right, you can see that it's a black, like a diamond.
Where and when did you see this craft?
The last time I seen it was 3 months ago. It was flying from the south to the north.
Yeah, what town?
And,
what city over there in Texas? What town in Texas?
Where is this at? It's over here by Texas City. I kind of live out there on the outside of Texas City. Dickinson and Texas City are close together, but there's a lot of land in between there. There's like boom, like you out there in the boondocks. There's a lot of dark spots, and that's where it flies over. On dark spots.
So you mean Dallas, Texas?
No, Texas City, Texas.
Okay. Is there any Air Force base or military base close by?
Yes, there's one right here at NASA, Ellington Airfield. Yeah, it's only about 10 minutes from Texas City. Driving Ellington Airfield's on 10, 15 minutes from there.
We have reports of a TR-3B next to Texas City, just coming from Ellison Air Force Base. I would imagine, was it kind of coming in from that direction or going into that direction when you spotted this thing?
No, it was kind of flying parallel to the coast. Maybe a mile up in the air, just flying parallel to the coast.
Well, man, appreciate you sharing that. The TR-3B, they've been spotted for decades now, but I think they're more on the rise, and I think there's going to be some TR-3Bs pretty much we're going to be seeing all the time, they're going to have to let it go. They're going to have to tell us that these things exist. It sounds like they have a bunch of these. They make no noise. They don't, and they move faster than the speed of sound, but they don't break the sound barrier. They could hover in midair, again, with no noise whatsoever. What technology are they using? How is it possible? Unless they're dealing with something that obviously they're not telling us. Some people are saying now there's a new theory that the aliens, they've been here since the beginning of time. We're just basically descendants from lost civilizations, other alien human races, basically, of this earth. And we're finding old technology and reverse engineering this stuff. I mean old, like maybe 1 million or 2 million years ago. There were civilizations that were much far superior than what we're dealing with today, our technology. Civilizations millions of years ago had us beat, and we're finding their stuff and reverse engineering. That's something to think about. All right, we got more callers. Let's go to area code 424. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Blake? This is Jay from LA.
Hey, Jay. Welcome. What's on your mind tonight?
I know Ridley Scott is working on about to release the Aliens film, but his production company is also working on another project, The Phoenix Forgotten, and they've been putting a lot of billboards all over in the city. So it's pretty cool that they're kind of revisiting that time period. And I know a lot of soft disclosure is going on, you know?
Well, yeah, I think Ridley Scott, he did something quite amazing. He made one of the scariest movies in movie history, and it was called Alien. Yeah, and you're exactly right. And pretty much he was ahead of his time, and now he's coming out with his new movie, The Alien Covenant. And, it looks absolutely insane and scary at the same time. But then Hollywood's coming out. Well, this is, again, Ridley Scott, but Hollywood and Ridley Scott has come out with this kind of movie called The Phoenix Lights. Let me see. What is it? The Phoenix Lights Return?
It's called Phoenix Forgotten.
Yeah, the Phoenix Forgotten. And it's apparently found footage of this family's ordeal during that whole escapade and some people trying to find out what exactly went down. And it looks pretty wild. It looks wild. We actually shared the trailer on our Third Phase of Moon, and you could watch it on our YouTube channel. And me and Brent have kind of commentary behind this because we're agreeing with you that, yeah, Hollywood is maybe possibly building us up for a soft disclosure with these films coming out.
Yeah, most definitely. When's the next time you're coming out to LA? And you should have a mixer so we can have like group talks with different experiencers and people that are just interested in the subject.
Yeah, that's a good question. Los Angeles, yeah, there's a lot of good contacts, a lot of people that could, the social aspect of Los Angeles and how people get the information out and how they bounce ideas off each other. It's pretty inspiring over there. So, yeah, we look forward to coming back. Not exactly sure. We're working on it.
Oh, most definitely. Well, keep me posted, Blake. I'd love to attend.
Yeah, absolutely. We will. Hey, thanks for calling in. So he was talking about this Phoenix Lights event and Ridley Scott coming out with these films. Is he prepping us for something? Because if he knows something, and if they're anything like the alien creatures in his Aliens, and if we'd have to be dealing with that stuff, that'd be quite scary. But there are some scary aliens from what we've heard out there. Reptilians come to mind. 917, you made it to the show. How you doing?
How you doing? This is my first time calling. You can hear me clearly?
Yeah, I got you. You're a little muffled, but yeah, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from New York City.
All right. Well, good morning to you. Thanks for joining me. What's going on? What's on your mind tonight?
Well, pretty much everything that everybody's talking about. You know, I do a lot of research on my own ever since, I guess you can say I started looking on YouTube at your show. I'm a type of person that like to get information for myself. I don't like to go by what other people say. But like with the pyramids and the things that's going on in Antarctica is just like very interesting. But according to my uncle, he used to work in Vietnam, and he used to talk to us about the shadow government, because we always used to think that the president runs the world and the president knows everything. But there's a government that runs our world, and the president knows of it, but he basically doesn't have the power to do anything about this shadow government. And it's what you was talking about last Monday about Ivanka and them knowing information about the alien agenda and stuff like that. They know that what I feel they know a little bit, but they don't know a lot, because there's certain things that's restricted from them and from the government and from the president himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are hot topics, and who's to say what these guys know, especially the president? But from what people are telling us, the president's pretty low on the scale as far as need to know. Pretty much on a scale from 1 through 100, he's in, I think, the 39th place.
Pretty much. But it's just weird. Like I feel like the history that they taught in school, they're just all lies. And then when you actually go to college and actually have to really do research in the history and find out things for yourself, you get a whole bunch of different answers. Like for instance, the lost civilizations of the giants. Everybody know that has to be Egypt. They're the only civilization in the world that literally depict their history on walls. Why would they make these giant-ass figures of people and then little other people serving them? Like, it really does not make sense to me. Like, if they depict their history on walls and hieroglyphs throughout history, this is like that's literally their history books enshrined. Why don't we take that into account? Or why do mainstream archaeologists or scientists take that to account? All of the giant bones that people have found all over the world.
Absolutely.
They send it to the Smithsonian, and then all of a sudden you hear nothing about it again.
Yeah, it's like what I was just talking about a little while ago. It's that they're finding these lost civilizations from a long ago, and they're just basically hoarding all that information for themselves. It's like, come on, we haven't even found the missing link to humans, but yet they call evolution. But what about all this other evidence out there? It's all suppressed. It's all to the highest bidder, in my opinion. Who has the most money owns pretty much this kind of information.
And but my grandma's always told me knowledge is power. And the people that have the knowledge, they're keeping us at a certain level. But I feel that the human race is so slowly awakening, and they're questioning things, and it's opening up their minds to what really is. Because I feel like in a certain past years, we were afraid to question certain things without being making fun of or be calling weird or call a conspiracy theorist. We just have to not be afraid. Give us a direct answer. Because I don't want to wait till it's too late. If they are, I don't believe that the aliens are aliens. I really feel like they're fallen angels. I really feel that way from the research that I've done over the past 6 years. It all points to this fallen angels. And then when I saw this documentary with, I believe his name is Edgar Mitchell, he was an astronaut, and he came on, I believe, Good Day New York, and he was talking about, this is a man that said that he said himself, I don't believe in God, I never did. He said, but with their last missions to the moon, that they encountered, or what he thought was aliens, but they are fallen angels. And he said, out of his own mouth, if these are fallen angels, we all know the legends and stories about fallen angels. These are not good creatures or beings or whatever they are. So if this man is a highly decorated astronaut that was one of the last astronauts that walked on the moon, if this man is going on national TV saying this stuff, why aren't we taking this stuff seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke with Edgar Mitchell shortly before he passed, and we had him on the show. And he was basically a very massive believer that there's something going on, and they're not telling us. And he believed in aliens. He flew over Area 51, and yeah, I think he was the seventh man on the moon, and I think it was the third mission
highly
to the moon, if I'm not mistaken.
decorated.
Yeah, highly direct. Yeah, he was trying to get to the bottom of it. That's for sure, and he was very highly decorated. He's a good man. Well, appreciate your comments tonight. What you had to say made a lot of sense. Keep in touch. Call back anytime. Let's get to more callers. They're wanting to chime in. They got opinions. Air code 320. You made it to the show. What's on your mind tonight? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, I'm calling in from Litchfield, Minnesota, and I've called in before. My name is Vincent, and I've had some weird stuff going on with the military planes going over and spraying chemtrails. About a month ago, it was pretty warm out, and I don't know if you get into the chemtrails, but they are doing it. I didn't get into it until I seen it myself. And about a month ago, it was a really warm day, and I was outside working, and I seen this plane go back and forth, and then I seen another one come from the other way, and you see planes in the sky, chats, but 5 hours they sprayed, and it was a white billowing spray, and it filled the whole sky. It would just feather out and fill the whole sky. Then they'd come by the other way, and then, for 5 hours I watched this. Well, then it kind of cooled off, whatever, it got a little bit of cold again. And then now the last 4 days ago, I got up early, and they were spraying again. And you could see it where the sun was coming up, and you could see they were spraying before the sun come up. And it was crisscross, back and forth, straight. And I watched, and I have a really good scope, and for about 8 hours that day, they sprayed all day long, and it was like 75 degrees before. And so now it rained. So it all dropped out of the sky, whatever they're spraying. But what do you think? Everybody knows they're spraying. Well, pretty much everybody. And I didn't get into it that much, but the government's spraying for a reason. What are you thinking? Is it non-terrestrial? Are the non-terrestrials involved in that? Is there something actually wrong with our climate? Or is it the sun? Is there something popping off on the sun? Or is it, and I looked with the scope, and there was no markings on these planes. And it wasn't like, we have the Metro jets come out and they go to the West Coast, over our property. But these here are going crisscross, and then they're coming back and forth. There's got to be maybe even more than 2. Maybe there was 4, because they had to land somewhere and refuel that stuff, right? And I know planes. I mean, I build runways, like the Minneapolis Delta the terminal. I build runways. I'm at the airport night and day. I see airplanes. I see contrails. I see, and this was different, And I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. There's chemtrails up in the sky, no doubt about it. And chemtrails are two different to them. Some could be just basically, water vapor, ice crystals, condensation up at that altitude, and the perfect right elements coming all together. It could create a contrail. But then there are definitely videos out there that show these chemtrails where under the environment it would be impossible for these massive clouds of chemtrails, whatever they are. They've done this in Vietnam. It was called testing grounds. They did their Agent Orange. They wanted to clear forestation, and they did this in Nam as well. So this is coming in from Flip It For You. I want to hear more about that stuff. In my opinion, why are they doing this? What's the agenda? Well, from what I've heard is they're getting us chemically balanced to be subdued, controlled, and then once we inhale or take in these chemicals, they could turn on a device and create a frequency hum to change the personality or subdue a person through a frequency once ingested into the body from these chemtrails. Well, that sounds wild. But you never know. You never know. Why would they do that? Population control, period. We got more callers. Thanks for that call, sir. Thanks, Lordano, for calling in. 203. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon. You're live.
Hey, Blaine. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking my call. Wanted to tell you tonight about a UFO sighting I had in Portland, Connecticut, in about 2007. It was a beautiful summer morning. I was in my car going to work down my street, and I was looking at the sky. I'm like just saying, wow, what a beautiful day. And I see this bright star, like low. It was low. I'm saying, what is that star doing out? The sun is out. I go, why is this star this low in the sky? And I'm watching it, and it changed where you can actually see it became a ship. And I said, oh, my God, to myself. I said, that's a spaceship. And I watched it zigzag, took off to the right, and it was gone. But that was just it, something short I wanted to tell you about. But I saw it really, within 100, 200 feet from where I was in the sky. It was really low, too.
Yeah. What color was it? Was it metallic? How large do you think it was?
Do you remember what the Jupiter 2 looked like on Lost in Space? It looked like that, but I don't remember seeing like lights on the bottom, but it looks like that silver chrome looking thing, like a steel looking gray. I saw a window in the front, and it was that kind of shape that it was on that series, and it just went back and forth with no sound now, and then it was just gone. My eyes couldn't even keep up with how fast it moved.
Now, wouldn't we all as a human race benefit from having something like that? That's what an incredible sighting. Even though it happened quick, you know for a fact that there's a vehicle out there that is just basically defying the physics as we're bound to right now.
Yeah, but, I wonder, a lot of people say they see lights in the sky. I'm wondering if it's the same thing where they kind of almost change into like another form, like a ship when they get where they weren't like low enough in like what they want to do. Like maybe they travel in some other form and then they reappear in another form. I don't know, but it was just kind of neat that it was this bright star. I thought it was a star. That's how bright it was, and it just made no sense that it was that low in the sky and it was in the morning and the sun was out. But yeah, that's it. That's just my story.
Well, there's this element called the neutrino. And these things move basically, they say faster than the speed of light, if I'm not mistaken. And they move so fast, they only exist for a certain amount of time in our existence. We managed to find them through sensors, but we know that they only exist for a certain amount of time because they're blinking in and out of time. Basically, they're time travelers. And do you think maybe some of these UFOs, I'm just kind of thinking, what we're looking at some of these sightings, that it could be they're tapping into the neutrino element. Neutrino, it's the neutrino, and basically doing interdimensional time jumps.
I never thought of that. That makes a lot of sense. We also had a sighting out here at Bantam Lake in Connecticut, like on the Watertown line, where it actually was a USO, went into the lake, and the water was glowing. It's documented. If you look it up on YouTube, there's an interview with a couple who actually witnessed it. It's pretty bizarre. There's a lot of activity in Connecticut. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. Just letting you know that. They've had like the boomerang-looking ship over Middlebury, Connecticut. They've seen kind of like the Phoenix Lights, that kind of ship. They had a ginormous one over Middlebury, Connecticut many years ago.
Connecticut, that's a hot spot as well. Multiple sightings. And then the sightings over there, they're extremely amazing compared to what the eyewitnesses' testimony is. It's just not one person sees it. That whole city of Kentucky, they're noticing things in the skies. Well, everybody stand by. We got more callers. Pretty good shows so far, I think. A lot of subject matter, different elements to the mystery. Yeah, we like storms and weather too. I love weather phenomenon when it gets crazy. Don't you guys like that? We got some of the best footage of weather phenomenon that just blows you away. And some people say it could be HARP. Some people say, well, it's not HARP. But then I ask you, What is it? That's what we want to know. And even if we can't explain it, it doesn't matter. Sometimes weather phenomenon, some of the most amazing stuff we could look at. Blake Cousins, stand by. Flying through space and time, the interdimension of human thoughts. We're right now live with you, streaming in real time. Let me tell you, it gets quite crazy because, wow. When you're just thinking about it, we're all in it together, and time, we're all sharing it. Because once time is done, it's done. Light speed, or maybe even faster. All right, we got a lot of callers. Let's get to area code 203. You made it to the show. How you doing tonight? (203). You there? 203.
I think you already talked to me. Did you?
Oh, gotcha. No problem. Hey, thanks for making room. Yeah, if you've got something you want to share, just press number 1 on the keypad. And we'll get straight to you right away. We want to get your thoughts because I think the third phase of moon need direction of talking about different mysteries in regards to what's happening around the world, not just the UFO phenomenon. Don't worry, we're not going to let that go. But there's so much more. The red planet. What other mysteries are yet to be revealed over there? There's a lot of things, suspicious things that have been found on that thing, but they're airbrushing a whole bunch of stuff out as well. It's a no-brainer. Okay, we got 727. You made it to the show. How you doing?
Pretty good, Blake. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Hey, thanks for calling in. Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, no problem.
You got something on your mind? Let's get to it.
Yeah, Tampa Bay area, Florida.
All right. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to you, actually. Thanks for calling in. So,
yeah, sure, no problem.
What do you think? What do you think about? Go ahead.
Well, first the thing with the chemtrails. I think it could possibly be the government. You know, that could be cancer causing. Remember Ted Turner in Atlanta? They have that big statue. Those big powers want the population under 500 million. So I think there's, even GMOs in food, that's not natural. I think anything that's not made by God, and it's made by man, it's not good for you. So, I think there's population control going on. And a couple other stories, too. I lived up in Long Island, New York, near the Brookhaven Lab. And I'm sure you heard about the crash that happened there in the early 90s.
No, not. I don't think so. Let's get back to real quick on this man-made substance of what you call GMO, and yeah, there's a lot of offense to it, and people are for it. It really goes back and forth. But let me ask you this: what if man were able to? Yeah, what if science were able to gather the atoms in thin air and basically structure them in a way that would pretty much be exactly the way what natural food is, but they would be able to do it with atoms, and the food would be basically formed in mid-air because they're copying the exact same structure of what that food, whatever it is, a plant, an animal, or meat. And then they'd say, hey, look, let's just replicate this in an atom form. It'd be natural because atoms, they wouldn't do anything weird. It'd just be structuring the exact same thing. Would that be dangerous? Because I think one of these days it's going to get down to it.
I did read one thing that they did that study in lab rats, and they fed them nothing but GMO food, and they got cancerous tumors, all of them. You know what I mean? And they've been putting this GMO food in our system for 20 years. Or even more than that, without us even knowing it. And now they're just giving an option to the people. You know, all it is gene splicing. It's pretty much cloning. And, cloning is not good. You're playing with God. You know what I mean? So, that's my thought on that one.
Well, let me ask you this, because, yeah, you just said it's not a fact, but, yeah, maybe the top echelon wants the human race to basically wither down to 500 million to be on this earth, and then what's going to happen to the 6.9 billion people on this planet at this moment? They want to take us out. Well, what if it didn't go that way? Because that's doom and gloom in its own sense. But you may be right. But what if we just kept populating this planet, and then we obviously started to get up to the 50 billion. The 50 billion population on this planet, we would not be able to sustain the human race even if we did it naturally. In my opinion, it wouldn't be natural. So then we'd have to be very cruel to the humans, and
Yep.
So we're going down a place that if we keep doing what we're doing, then we're going to obviously have population control, like what they're doing possibly, or if science could go, hey, we could build cities in the skies. We have unlimited room with anti-gravity technology where we could have New York City. We could have multiple New York cities in New York City floating above each other because there's a lot of air, free energy, and then free food out of thin air, atoms.
Yeah. Yep, just like they're thinking about doing the Amazon big warehouses in the sky and then using drones to deliver it. So you're right about the free space in the sky. But with the story with up in New York, this actually happened to my sister in the early 90s. Happened with Brookhaven Lab, and they actually have a particle collider. There's only two in the United States, one in Livermore, California, and one in Brookhaven National Lab in Long Island, up in New York. And my sister was driving. It was called North Street. It's like just parallel of the lab. And it was late at night, and there was a car in front of her. She was driving down this road, and both of their cars stopped, and this big orange orb came down right to the street, and it actually bent the trees on each side of the road and actually left a mark on the road, and it stalled their cars. So, I mean, that was pretty interesting, too. I wish I was there to see that.
Well, is that mark still there? Could you go back to that exact same spot? There might be some forensic evidence, residue.
She did bring me back there. I didn't see any evidence on a road. I guess the trees, I guess you can see a little bit, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I didn't see really much evidence there of that. And then that crash that happened in Brookhaven Lab, they closed that whole area off. And which was weird about that is the regular fire department wasn't even allowed in there first. It was the Brookhaven Lab fire department, and they were the only ones allowed in there when that happened.
What would be the difference? Why?
It's something secret. I mean, it's something that the lab was doing, because they're doing some secret stuff there. I mean, I even had a brother. We used to walk back in the woods back there, and they did have security, but we would get back there. And my brother said that he saw these tanks with two-headed fish and stuff like that. Just some weird stuff going on. They could be shooting.
Okay. Hold on a sec. So there's this. Is it a military lab? Where exactly is this laboratory? It sounds like they're doing some weird experimentation going on.
Yeah, I mean, it is very guarded, that place. I mean, it's not like anybody can go in there. I mean, they do have that particle divider. I know CERN is the only one. No, I'm sorry. There's actually 3 particle dividers. There's one in Livermore. There's the CERN one in Switzerland, and there's the one in Brookhaven Lab. And I don't know exactly what else they're doing there, but they are doing a lot of research. And that used to be a military base back in World War II. It was called Upton Military Base.
So the Brookhaven Lab, now this, yeah, they do things, and they say that they're legit. They're not saying what you're just claiming. Tell me exactly what you think is going on at the Brookhaven Lab. Like, what are the stories? What are the eyewitness testimonies? What's coming out of there?
I think they're doing some type of military testing because, whatchamacallit, I think they're doing something with some type of particle beam laser or something like that. Honestly. I just don't know. And there's actually another story. This happened in the 80s, and I heard this from my brother.
Go ahead.
They were They were in the living room, sitting down watching TV, and obviously they saw this big orange orb just pass right through the window. It's something with these orange orbs. I think they might be coming from bigger craft as, spying on us, as a, what's the word I'm looking for when you bring something out? Like a drone. It's their type of drone.
So they're using some kind of craft, a drone of some sort, but it definitely defies laws of physics. So, in my opinion, it's something discovered from long ago or extraterrestrial. We're trying to figure this out. Like, could this be just technology from millions of years ago that they've discovered? It makes a lot of sense. What's your opinion on that?
As a human race, I bet you we only know less than 1% of what we know. You know what I mean? It boggles the mind. It really does. So I'm trying to think of any, and I actually had an experience here in Tampa one night. I went outside to go to work early at 5 o'clock in the morning. I look to the north, and I see this bright light just standing there, right? And I'm looking at it, and just had a split of my eye, zoom, raced off to the right. I mean, it must have been going like 10,000 miles an hour. I mean, just in a split of an eye, was gone.
Yeah, I've seen one of those. And you just know at that point, there's something going on that they're keeping. The whole world isn't aware of. That's the problem. They're just, we all know this is going on, but the world as a whole just don't want to ask the question, and nobody really wants to get down to business of figuring out what it is or who's in charge. So much mystery out there. It's insane. Well, wow. Hey, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. And we're going to look into this. We're going to look into that Brookhaven lab because.
Oh, hey, you know
what's going on? Tell me about. Do you think there's chimeras coming out of there? Genetic engineering of just manipulating the species of any kind?
You never know. Dulce Mountain, Dulce Mesa. Apparently they're doing that stuff there down. In circles underneath the ground. The lower level is pure evil. Aliens messing with humans and humans messing with aliens, and I don't know. There's sheep's over. What's the famous saying? Wool over sheep's eyes or something like that.
Yeah, I think we know where you're going, or wag the dog.
Yep, exactly. So, one more quick question.
So, what do you think? What about? Okay, yeah. What's your question? Go ahead. I got one for you afterwards. Yep.
Okay. I was looking at those pictures below. and I see an air base that has the triangle where they keep the aircraft. Do you know where that air base is? Military air base?
I think you're talking about the slideshow going on the radio show right now.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what.
Because I like to look at geography
about.
and. Yeah, it looked like it was just a regular military air base, but it looked kind of weird. But it was on that sideshow that you have below.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's Area 51, no doubt about it. It's the only air base that when I put up some air base, I'm sure it's Area 51. And if not, there's some weird stuff. We found some crazy stuff on Area 51 via Google Earth. And, triangular craft and all that stuff. Go ahead.
I have a building that's you ever heard of the what's the name of it? The Proving Grounds in Utah, the Dugway. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, the Dugway Proving Grounds. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, the new Area 51. Well, I looked on Google Earth, and I see this building. It looks kind of weird because it's fenced in within a fenced-in military base. So you know that building is very important if it has its own guard shack within the very secrecy of the military base itself. So, and the building looks weird. I just don't know the heck it is. But is there a way that I
send me the coordinates? I'll take a look on Google Earth. Yeah, we've talked to Sean David Morton about that, and he's totally agreed that that's the new Area 51. But I got a feeling Area 51's still active as well. They're just working with something that is beyond what they were doing in the past, and they pretty much given Utah and this base old technology. Area 51, in my opinion, is as active as ever. Well, let me tell you, we got one. Let's see, we got another caller. Let's see if we could bring him in. Let's go to an anonymous caller and see how they're doing tonight. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Yep, there you go. We got you. It's an unlisted number, but if you're there, you're live. So go ahead, speak up. Hello? Oh, well, he's playing some music. While Third Phase of Moon Live is going on? Wow. You can't do that. Only kidding, but wow. So the topics tonight, they went to other places we've never really gone to. But I think the discussion of new mysteries, new technology, possibilities about how the man of the future will live. How's everything going to go? How's it going to go down? Are we going to get disclosure coming up in our lifetime? Is it going to take us till 2030 to get to the moon? Wow, this is going at a snail's pace, in my opinion. We got to get things going a lot quicker. Technology is good, but this cell phone stuff and the new tech, it's almost seems like they're trying to dumb down the mind and get us addicted to their little gadgets. We need a little bit more technology into another consciousness that we have yet to discover. Join me this Friday night, everybody. We're going to be broadcasting again, and we'll be sharing incredible videos on our Third Phase of Moon YouTube. I'm thinking about going live on YouTube here tomorrow, so you might want to join me on our live broadcast. We're going to see what goes down. We're going to go over some UFO videos, get your opinions. We're going to be live on YouTube. It's going to be fun, so join me, guys. I'm sure everybody's got some great opinions when we go over some of the material that I'll be sharing with you tomorrow live on our YouTube channel, Third Phase of Moon. I'm not exactly sure what time we're going to do it, but once we go live, it's going to be posted to all our subscribers. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll let everybody know how it goes down. It's going to be a Google Hangout on our Third Phase of Moon YouTube channel. This should be fun. Keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. We'll see you real soon.
of moon.